Y'all, there's a new standard in keto flour and we're trying it today. Come on. Welcome to Highfalutin Low Carb, the almost weekly web series where we find and test the best low carb recipes this crazy internet has to offer. Today, we're finally doing it. We're tackling Victoria's Keto Kitchen New Standard Keto Flour 2.0. Stay tuned. All right, guys, everybody calm down. Calm down. We're finally doing it. After years of you telling me to go try Victoria's Keto Kitchen New Standard Keto Flour, we're finally doing it. You've been telling me about this for years, and what's interesting is over those several years, Victoria has been working behind the scenes to fine-tune what is now, as of this is probably August 2023 that you're going to be watching this. This is her new standard keto flour 2.0 by Victoria's Keto Kitchen. I'm going to leave a link down here on the screen and in the video description below. This thing has a lot of followers and a lot of lovers, and I am so excited to finally try it. Now, just so you know, she has been working on this and has multiple different versions of this. This is the latest, I believe, and this is using, the reason it has taken me so long is because it has become so popular because one of the ingredients is so difficult to find. But I finally got my hands on bamboo fiber, not bamboo flour, bamboo fiber. So I'll leave a link to this down below. Apparently they've been sold out because everybody's been making this bread. So we're going to put this recipe together and test it out. Now she does this. This is meant to be a one-to-one replacement for just standard white flour. You're supposed to be able to take a cookbook off the shelf that's not low carb, that has a bread or flour component, and use this mixture that we're about to create one-to-one with flour, and it is going to be a perfect texture and substitute for the flour, the white wheat flour. We're going to test that out today, not by making her bread. We'll probably cover that in another bread battle video that I've got planning soon. A commenter talked about making the America's Test Kitchen Dream Biscuits out of this. And if you know me, you know I love biscuits and America's Test Kitchen. So that's what we're going to do today. Now, before we begin, I need to give a huge thank you to the sponsor of this video, Factor. Factor is an online meal delivery service that makes meeting your nutritional goals easier than ever by delivering fresh, never frozen meals directly to your door that are dietitian approved and chef created. Looking at the packaging and seeing other people's ads, for some reason I thought these were frozen meals. These are not frozen. This is fresh, delicious meals that live in your refrigerator, and they are quality ingredients like truffle butter, broccolini, leeks, real Parmesan cheese. Now, you know that I've in the past have been sponsored by Green Chef. Well, Green Chef and Factor are both owned by HelloFresh. So while I still do my Green Chef boxes, it's nice to include Factor in that as well, and this makes putting a delicious meal in my belly very, very easy and very fast. So right now, if you want to find out more about these delicious and easy meals, you can go visit factor75.com or use the link in the video description below and enter code Highfalutin50 and you will get 50% off your first Factor box. Again, that's factor75.com. Use the link below and use code Highfalutin50 and you'll get 50% off of your first Factor box. So Factor, thank you for sponsoring this video. It's sponsorships like yours that keep channels like mine on the air, and for that I am truly appreciative. And again, I'm sorry for thinking this whole time that your meals were frozen when in fact they are delicious, fresh, wonderful meals. All right, let's go make this flour. Come on. All right, guys, so let's get started on the main point of this video, which is the new standard keto flour 2.0 by Victoria's Keto Kitchen. Again, the link is here on the screen. It'll be in the video description and the pinned comment. And before we begin, I always say I don't give exact measurements for my recipes that I test here because I didn't create these recipes. The people that did do the hard work, they deserve the traffic. This video is a little bit different, and I am going to give you the exact measurements because it is so exacting. But I'm going to tell you now, do not attempt this without first going to Victoria's Keto Kitchen YouTube page and watching the video for this flour. It is very important. I wouldn't even attempt it until you do so, and you'll find out why once you watch it, what she has gone through to come up with this. All right, so the big guy here, the big kahuna is this bamboo fiber. And she is adamant that when we're making this, we're about to make a large batch of it that we will keep in the pantry or the fridge. This has to be done with a scale. Do not, you cannot do it with cup measurements. She gives you some cup measurements as a way to just start off measuring, but this has to be measured to the gram because it is so exacting, and this is part of what makes it or breaks it. And if you don't do it exactly right, and this is too expensive of ingredients to mess up. So we're going to start with a large bowl and the bamboo fiber. So we're going to put this on a gram scale and we're going to tare the scale. And this is so light, it's so big, but it is so light, which is why you have to measure this with by weight. So it's roughly 3 cups of bamboo fiber, which is 192 grams. That is the important part. Forget the 3 cups. You need exactly 192 grams. And I'll try to speed some of this up because I know you don't need to watch it all up. Okay, that's 102. Okay, so that's 192 grams. I'm going to go ahead and tare this weight, and see, this is I only used a little bit of this. This is going to make multiple batches of this flour, and she keeps it in an airtight container, and we will be able to make multiple different recipes, whether that's cookies or bread or flours or cakes or these biscuits we're about to make, that we'll make out of this that we've already created. All right, so we've torn the scale again, and then I need almond flour. She gives you a couple of options for this. One is almond flour, which makes this about 3 net carbs per cup, which obviously you can only have about 1/4 of a cup of a serving, so really great. But she also has a recipe. You can also do this with pecan flour. It's different amounts, which is why you need to watch the video, with pecan flour, and it takes it down to about 1 gram of net carbs per cup, which is about 1/3 a cup, a third of a carb per serving. But she specifically says for beauty's sake and just the taste and texture, she prefers almond flour. So I'm going to use my super fine almond flour. And if you use the almond flour, I need 168 grams of that exactly. So my scale has been torn. And I don't know how you say it. I have torn the scale. I tared it. T-A-R-E. And I need 168 grams. That's 130. Okay, so that's my 168 grams of almond flour. I'm going to tare the scale again. And now we're going to use egg white protein powder. And you don't need much of this. You need about 1/2 cup or 60 grams. Again, exactly 60 grams. This is where we're starting to get into some smaller, more exacting measurements. Okay, so let's see. Imagine this protein powder is giving us some of the gluten replacement. How many? 60 grams, that's 40. All right. So again, this is going to be a little bit pricey to start with because you're going to buy large amounts of all of these ingredients, which are kind of pricey, but you're only using a portion of them, right? And so from there, that's where we're, all right, I'm going to tare the scale again. Okay, and so the last thing is xanthan gum, and this is where you really realize the how exacting she was with this. She was making multiple batches of this, and the difference in 9 grams of xanthan gum versus 10 grams of xanthan gum, just that 1 little gram across this whole measure made all the difference in the world. And it's exciting to see people excited about the things that they make, and that's what I like about her channel. And clearly it's working for her because people love this. So we need 10 grams of xanthan gum. And this is why you have to be careful about measuring this out, because this is a little bit of xanthan gum to go across a large. All right, so all of this has been carefully measured, and then from here, this is where you've got to take a whisk and just do your best job of incorporating all of this, because that little bit of xanthan gum has to make its way across this entire container worth of flour. So I'm just going to sit and whisk this, and then she will put this in a large sealed Tupperware container and shake, shake, shake. Other people put it in a giant gallon Ziploc bag, and then every time you take it out to use it, shake, 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 get it all mixed up again, because you need that xanthan gum to be evenly distributed and not settle somewhere. So I'm just going to keep mixing this together to make sure there are no hidden pockets, and we'll go from there. And I'm going to, the oven's already heating and getting ready for our biscuits. The dream biscuits are about to about to happen. I'm kind of excited. See you in just a bit. All right, guys, so we're back and we're going to put this flour through its paces by testing it with something that I saw in her comment. So this is our full batch of the Keto, new standard Keto flour 2.0, full batch of that. We are going to start. So I was looking through her comment section, right, researching this, and someone named Raven Keeper says, I made your perfect keto flour mixture with almond flour from your last update, which we just did. I put it to what I consider the ultimate test and made America's Test Kitchen's Dream Biscuits from here on YouTube. I used your 1-to-1 perfect keto flour for their white flour, and I added the baking powder, the soda, the salt, and the heavy cream as per their instructions. No word of a lie, perfection. My husband raved and raved. Your flour and their dream biscuit recipe are now staples in my kitchen. So I know my way around a biscuit, and I'm going to find my way around this flour. So what she tells you to do, I'm going to go ahead and give you the instructions here. I'll also link the link here to the Dream Biscuits here on YouTube for America's Test Kitchen. So this starts with 3 cups of regular, like all-purpose flour, right? If you were just making this. Well, we know we're going to use 3 cups of the new standard keto flour. Now she tells you that for any time you use this in a mix, if you're going to use cups, if it calls for a cup, use 84 grams. She's adamant about that. Let's tear the scale. Come on. And I need 84 grams of this. Okay, that's 84 grams. That's 1 cup. Okay, that's another 84 grams. That's 2 cups. We need 1 more. Okay, so I know that I have 3 cups, 3 84-gram cups of our all-purpose flour replacement, and this is what's left over, so I'm just going to put this over, and that will go in a sealed bag, live in the fridge, and I can use it just like regular flour from here on out. And so if you're going to do a lot of baking, maybe make a couple of batches of that with all of your ingredients you've got there. So here's our flour portion. We're going to finish out the rest of the dry ingredients in this. Let me get a spatula. And this is going to be, the recipe calls for, and again, I don't normally give ingredients, but this video is a little bit different. So we've got our 3 cups of flour. We're going to add in 4 teaspoons of, obviously the recipe would be sugar, but this is a 50-50 allulose baking blend for keto baking. This is obviously a controversial ingredient in biscuits. They shouldn't be sweet, but they do a great job of explaining that this is below the threshold of getting to be a sweet biscuit. This is just for the browning. This is a combination, this recipe, of cream biscuits, which is what you use cold butter, cold cream, cold, and mix that out and stamp it, and drop biscuits. So it's a cream biscuit and a drop biscuit, and they call it Dream Biscuit. All right, to this we're also going to add in baking powder and baking soda. You've got a full tablespoon of baking powder. That's what's going to give us our lift. And then they also add in a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. And this is really more for flavor. You don't realize it, but part of the flavoring of a genuine biscuit is baking soda. That creates a very noticeable flavor. So that's what they're doing with it here. And then also we're going to add in 1 1/4 teaspoons of salt. All right, so we've got all that ingredient. We just followed the recipe. All we did was swap out the flour for Victoria's. And let's get our dry ingredients combined. Now to this, we're going to add in 2 cups of heavy cream. Now, this is out of the refrigerator. This is not what you want to do. If I were to pour this in here and try to mix it together, we would get a very, very thick dough. Heavy cream looks like liquid, but suspended in that liquid is tons of butter fat, tons of milk fat, and that's what we need to melt. So, against all better judgment and what we know about biscuit making, where you want cold butter, cold fat, cold dough, cold milk, we're going to heat this in the microwave, these 2 cups, for 60 to 90 seconds. You want to get it between 95 and 100 degrees. It's going to melt that butter fat, thin it down, and then we can go ahead with the recipe for there, and then it's super fast. This is all there is to it. This is a fast, easy recipe. So I'm going to put this in the microwave for about 60 seconds, test the temperature. I'll meet you right back here while I finish making sure that our dry ingredients are incorporated. Okay, so our cream is out of the microwave. It's a little on the warm side, but not bad. We're about 110. Needed to be between 95 and 100. I think we're safe if we go ahead with this. You just want it to be a little bit warm. I've made sure all my dry ingredients are well combined, and now we just pour in our cream and stir this together. And they were quick to point out that this is a very forgiving recipe as well. You don't have to worry about overworking this, because there's enough butter fat suspended in this cream that it'll coat all the flour, and you're not going to get a big overworked mess. So take your time and make sure this is well combined. They also showed the same recipe, same ingredients, and they tried to mix this together while using the chilled cream, and it was remarkable, the difference. It was just thick. There's no way they could have done what we're about to do with this batter. So just that little bit of a temperature change made such a big difference in the final outcome of the batter. So make sure you got all your parts and pieces. Now, again, our oven is already preheated to 450. You want to start that early because that's going to take the longest out of all of this. And now, with impeccably clean hands, we're going to come in here with a 1/3 cup measure. Hold on, let me get a paper towel. This is just some parchment paper. I'm going to take a 1/3 cup measure and hit it with a little bit of unflavored cooking spray. I'm going to use the avocado oil spray. You just don't want it to stick. And then you're going to come in here, and we're going to do 10 of these biscuits, and then you're going to try to just drop them directly on the pan, and that's where the spray helps get it out of here. So I'm going to do that now, and you can even use your fingers with a little bit of oil to shape the biscuits back up a little bit after you've laid them down. But I'm going to speed this up so you don't have to watch, and then we're going to get to biscuit cooking. All right, guys, this is why I would go broke if I were a professional baker, because somehow out of that recipe, I got 8 biscuits instead of 10, but no matter. These are going to go in the 450-degree oven at the middle upper rack for 10 to 12 minutes until they're golden brown on top. You're going to rotate them halfway through. So I'm going to do that now. When they come out, we're going to brush them with butter, let them cool for maybe 4 or 5 minutes and test them. And I am so excited to see how this flour turns out in this recipe. So, all right, I'll see you back here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Guys, we are back, and I cannot tell you how ecstatic. I'm trying not to spill them out. Look at, I mean, my stars, those are beautiful. They are hot. They are just out of the oven. And I'm going to go ahead like they suggest. I melted a couple of tablespoons of butter, and while they're warm, out of the oven, just lightly get a little glaze for the butter on top of these, and I'm going to let them cool for about 5 minutes. I'm only going to butter about half of them because I want to get some thumbnail shot. Well, no, let's just do it. I'm going to take some photos of this because they are beautiful, and we want to try them while they're fresh and hot. So I'm going to be back here in about 5 minutes. Y'all, those are freaking gorgeous. All right, hold on. I'll be back. All right, so guys, I mean, I cannot just explain how beautiful they are. I mean, that is the most perfect looking biscuit I have seen. Let me cover my big old fat head so you can see it, in a long time. But we've seen a lot of good food that doesn't taste real good. So the nutritional information on this, because we used her flour, so we were supposed to make 10 biscuits. I made 8. If you use the almond flour version we did, 1 cup of this flour has 2.7 grams of net carbs, right, per cup. We use 3 cups for the recipe. So let's just round up and say 3 net carbs per cup, right? If you made 9 biscuits, that would be about a carb per biscuit. If you'd made 10, like the recipe called for, it'd have been a little bit less than 1 carb per biscuit. So, because you're just adding cream and some other things to it. So y'all, what does it taste like? Let's look at, I love that it's got this little crag in it. Just, I mean, the texture, guys, is, focus on that biscuit. Look at that. Let's taste it. butter top up. Feels like a biscuit. It's a little dense. Wow. Wow. Hold on. Okay. I'm not sure what to think here. I've done a lot of cooking with oat fiber. I've used it in a lot of recipes. And in fact, her other version of this, if you can't get the bamboo fiber, which she much prefers, is to use oat fiber. If you've ever cooked extensively with oat fiber, it's good, it's light, it's fluffy, just like this, but it kind of has a dry, super dry mouthfeel. This bamboo fiber does not. Y'all, I am not sure how to look at that. I'm really kind of speechless. Victoria, honey, you are my new best friend. Call me every 5 minutes. I'm just going to say it. Hands down, it's 2023. Y'all been watching me do this stuff for 6 years. That is hands down the best flour replacement I have ever tried on the keto or low carb diet. I don't know if it works in every instance. We're going to give the bread a try. For these biscuits, I am kind of dumbstruck. Victoria, girl, keep it up. This is amazing. This is 2.0. I know it's taken you a couple of years of work to get here. I don't know how you can improve it. Whoo, doggies. So there you have it, folks. Keto standard flour 2.0. Yes. Go do it. Go find some of the fiber. Go find some of the bamboo fiber. Hopefully it's still in stock. I'll leave a link below. So thanks, guys. I say it every time. These videos are a way for me to maintain my low carb way of eating, and looking in the end of that camera as often as I can helps keep me honest. So I appreciate that you guys have come along for the journey, and I'm so excited about new recipe creators. Well, she's not new anymore, really, like Victoria and Chris Cooking Nashville and all these other folks that are doing amazing things out in the keto, carnivore, and low carb space. So, all right, guys, I'm going to ask you, if you will, to please like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, make sure that you are subscribed to this channel. Make sure you've hit the bell button down below so that you'll know just as soon as I release a new video. I also need to thank the sponsors of this video again. Factor, be sure to go to Factor75, use code Highfalutin50 to get the special offer they're offering right now. Sponsorships aren't why I do this, they're how I do this. So I always appreciate that if you will go check out the people that support me. And lastly, I want to thank my Patreon members, my rock stars. You're going to see their names start to scroll over here. If you don't know what Patreon is, think of it as the tip jar for the internet. It lets people like you, who enjoy what people like me do here on YouTube, and give $1 or $2 a month just to sort of keep the train on the tracks, as it were. So without these lists of people here, none of this would be possible. They keep the Highfalutin Test Kitchen going. So thank you guys so much. I love you very much. I'll see you soon for another video. And remember, today is a great day to have a great day. Bye-bye.